Hey people, it's me, Anja. My pronouns all she and her, and welcome back to my channel for a new recent reads video. And if it looks like I just woke up from a nap, it's because I did. So anyway, the first book on this list is called The History of Everything. This story is a YA contemporary graphic novel following two best friends who are growing up and growing apart. This story is absolutely so fantastic and it's so good. First of all, the illustrations are so pretty and they remind me of like a Cartoon Network goth style, like Raven from the Teen Titans, not to be confused with Teen Titans Go, but like the original series. Does that make any sense? Anyway, the characters and the writing and the pacing in the story are all so well done. I love the friendship, I love the two characters individually, the plot is so intriguing and so engaging. Everything about this story felt so understandable and so well written. I'm not quite sure if this author has written and illustrated other books before, but I will gladly read more from them in the future because this book was so good. I truly enjoyed it from the beginning to the end. So anyway, with that said, I rated this book 4 to 5 stars and I would highly, highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called The Girl You Know. This story is a YA contemporary dark academia thriller following a young sapphic main character who is impersonating her dead twin sister at a boarding school to discover the truth behind her death. Does that make sense? Anyway, I was super excited for this book because that concept sounds really interesting. However, this story ultimately felt flat and short to me because all of the side characters' personalities were told to us rather than shown, which everyone knows is my biggest pet peeve in books, which means that, like, all of the characters, especially the side characters, felt very black or white to me, and I just wish that, like, everything was more nuanced, if that makes any sense. Does it? I'm not sure. But anyway, overall, the plot was kind of interesting, but the ending wasn't as satisfying as I was really hoping it would be, because again, I wasn't really as emotionally invested in the characters as I could have been, because they felt so black or white to me in general. So anyway, overall, I rated this book 3 out of 5 stars. Maybe I would say that it's my biggest disappointment of the year so far, since I was really hoping that I would enjoy it more. But anyway, take that as you will. The next book on this list is called Cassi in the House of Memories. This story is a middle-grade contemporary graphic novel following a young main character who's trying to find her grandfather, like literally because he's lost. So she goes through his memories, which I think is a really interesting and fascinating idea. And like the illustrations were so pretty and so well done. And the story itself was so interesting. I love a concept of like a main character traveling through the past, basically time traveling, but like specifically through her family's like history and memories. It kind of reminded me of The Secret Library in that sense, which is a awesome like middle-grade black book that I read last year, and I thought it was so good. But anyway, this book is excellent and it was so well done. The world building is so atmospheric and so wholesome. The story is so sweet. The characters are so well developed and so distinct. I just really, really enjoyed this book from the beginning to the end. Everything about it was so awesome and so wholesome. So anyway, with that said, I rated this book 4 out of 5 stars because I would definitely highly, highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called The Labyrinth of Souls. This story is a middle-aged fantasy following a young main character who is seen as an outcast until she joins a school, and then she's no longer seen as an outcast. But basically, she is seen as an outcast because she can see nightmare creatures, one of which is chasing her. I think this book is absolutely so good and it's so well done. First of all, I love reading middle-grade fantasies about characters who feel like an outsider or an outcast to the community. Like, they're like challenging the status quo with their identity with something that they can't control. Second of all, I love academic settings in middle-grade fantasies. Maybe it's because I grew up with Harry Potter and I always wanted to go to a magical boarding school, or honestly a boarding school in general set in another country. But like, this book was so good. I loved the school, I loved the friendships, I loved like the magical culture. The world building is excellent and it's so atmospheric. The characters are so well developed and so distinct. The plot is so engaging and so awesome. This book is absolutely so good and I'm so excited to read the sequel, which I think will come out next year or something like that. I'm not completely sure, but anyway, this book was so good. I just really enjoyed it so much. The world building was excellent and so atmospheric. I think I already said that, but anyway, I rated this book 4 out of 5 stars, and I would definitely highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called The Enemy's Daughter. This story is a middle-grade historical fiction following a young German survivor of the Lusitania who's trying to find her way home. This story is absolutely so excellent and it's so well done. I think it's so important to talk about prejudice in wartime, especially since it continues to be so relevant and so important when we talk about like the generalizations we make about people from certain countries, if that makes any sense, based on their government, especially when it comes to children who are innocent, and like the ways in which people are taught certain things about certain groups of people and everything. And when it comes to empathy, does that make any sense? I feel like I'm being so vague. But anyway, this book was so good and it was so well done. I loved the world building so much. The characters are so well developed and so distinct. The friendships were absolutely so wholesome and so well done. I truly felt for everything that was happening, and like her character arc as the main character was so well done and it was so awesome and it felt so understandable and like relatable and stuff. I don't know if that makes any sense. But anyway, overall, this book is absolutely so excellent and it's so well done. So I rated it 4 out of 5 stars and I would definitely highly recommend it. The last book on this list is called Unhallowed Halls. This story is a YA urban fantasy horror contemporary that follows a young sapphic main character at an exclusive boarding school where she encounters secret societies and demonic magic. As previously discussed, I love books with academic settings, and the first half of this book was so strong, and I was loving the atmosphere and the boarding school setting and like the introduction of the friend group and everything. But then the second half completely fell apart and felt so short, and like the ending of some of the side characters' arcs was so unsatisfying to me. At least in The Girl You Know, the entirety of that book felt short to me. So like the underdevelopment of some of those characters was expected from the beginning. But in this book, it felt so off and so weird. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but like I don't really enjoy horrors or demonic magic or anything like that. But like I was just really enjoying this book in the first half, but then the second half felt so off, and that uneven pacing like pissed me off. You know what I mean? But anyway, overall, basically what I'm trying to say is that like this book had potential in the beginning, but like the execution later on was just so bad. So anyway, overall, I rated this book 3 stars, and take that as you will. So in conclusion, February has continued to be a steady reading month. I hope that it continues to be as the month ends in 5 days. So anyway, in conclusion, if you enjoy this video, please don't hesitate to give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below the pizza emoji if you made it all the way to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!